So we've gone through, family, community, and inner peace. And now this is a hard one because I see the world becoming more peaceful every day typically isn't what most people would say, but let's try that one because it really can be. So you can read along with me. I see the world becoming more peaceful every day. I recognize the world for all its drama as a reflection of my own inner experience. As I work to change my perception of the world, I realize I am actually affecting the world around me. As I change how I am seeing the world changes with me. I see beauty around me. I see the goodness in people and honor them for that goodness. I even practice seeing our national political world in a different light. Now that's a real, I even practice seeing our own national political world in a different light. I see it as a process, and I focus on the evolution of human consciousness as we move toward greater awareness and compassion. I see the world becoming more peaceful and just every day as I myself become more peaceful and fair within. Yeah, so that's an interesting one because, we think we're just here in our own little world, and yeah, we might affect our family or maybe even our local community, but we don't see how important our attitude, our perspective, our point of view, and everything that we believe and do is affecting the whole world. And so I just feel like that's really important to consider in these times, because the world does look like it's, as they say, going to hell in a handbasket. But it's really just a process. And the other thing I think is very important is to remember that look at civil rights, look at women's issues, look at the environment, but look at how much progress has been made, over time. Look at with 150 years ago, it was okay to own another person. That was okay. I remember with my daughter, she was reading Huckleberry Finn in high school, and we were talking about, she was writing an essay or something, and there was this place where Huckleberry Finn was he was concerned that he was helping Miss, whatever her name was, a slave escape. It was her property. He thought he was helping. And he was conflicted, even though he was pals with the slave who had escaped. But we were like, whoa, it's okay to own another person? No, it isn't. And I remember at the time there was a big issue about the forest. We were dealing with trying to save a forest at the time. And it was like, oh, it's okay to own the earth? Well, private property, yeah, it's okay. But it's also not just about we can do whatever we want with it. We have to be respectful of the earth. And if we own property, that's the way it is these days. But tribal people didn't think about ownership of property. The native indigenous people of our world, nobody owned it. People would use it, but they also wouldn't destroy it as they used it typically. Although obviously, if you go back far enough in history, there's tribes that did overuse things. And I think that's what we're kind of looking at today too, is like we're overusing. So things are changing, things have changed. We are making the change. We want to be the change that we want to see. We're not just expecting that, it's all going to happen and it's out of our control. It is so much in our realm that we can influence what's happening in our world. So what would you all suggest? I want to hear from you. What can we do on a personal level to make the world a better place? Kyle, I know you work a lot with plants, so that's a good place to begin.
Yes, and like to have that affirmation, like peace begins with me. So the more peaceful I am, it reflects and radiates out. So like having nature teach us, because nature is very intelligent. So it's just like being like still, going back to that stillness, like being still, like in that quiet, and then in that quiet you're able to receive. And nature, it's that giving and receiving, right? It's that relationship that we're building. So it's working in harmony with nature, and then teaching that to others as well.
So, you know, we've all dealt with this pandemic and so forth, and I've just been really feeling dragging. And for some reason, I go to this yarn shop, and she's always got this music on and Spotify, whatever. But when I hear 60s music, because I'm a 60s, 70s person, it just gives me a lift. So now I've kind of come home and I turn 60s music or 70s music on, and it just gives me a lift. And if I'm happy, then I can project happiness to other people.
Absolutely. I love it. And I would encourage you to also get up and dance, you know, because that's what we did in the 60s. We really started moving. I mean, of course, Elvis was one of the first ones to really show us we could wiggle our butts, but you know, I mean, it's just kind of like so much. It makes us dance, and that's something that's just a fun form of exercise too, if you can't get out too much. And again, if you can't, if you're confined to a wheelchair or something like that, you can move your body, move your, you know, and I just think it really does lift your spirit.
Well, sometimes I pick my granddaughter up from school and then spend some time with her. And so I turn that 60s music on while I'm with her. And next thing I know, she's bopping around the room, right? So I'm kind of paying it forward, but you know, I feel good about that she's enjoying that too. So because the kids are really struggling as well. So
they are very much struggling, and I think again, we tend to rely on the next generation to fix what we didn't fix ourselves, but there's a lot of concern in the younger generation, but there's also a lot of hope. And I really do see the young people today just being so strong and very clear on how the kind of world that they want to create. And I think I'm in my late 70s too, and it's just like, okay, when we were their age, we didn't have elders. We did have elder brother like Ram Dass. He'd gone to India and taught us about meditation and stuff like that. And then there were elders we could find. Dean and I were very inspired by the Native American elders that we were in touch with, and that, you know, just their wisdom about the earth and oneness of life and that kind of thing. But there wasn't a whole bunch of elders that we could talk to, because mostly everybody had come out of the Depression years or the World War II or the 50s of we're going to all consume and have everything we want on the material plane. But yeah, so just being able to know that we need to have the backs of the younger generation now. So if we have any resources or any wisdom to share, that we want to be there for our kids and our grandkids. And yeah.
I believe that laugh and smiling are a way to help with the world. And I try to do anything or funny things. So I sometimes make my cat have voices. Hey everyone, it's not funny. And I struggle with the news and like all the negative that comes with listening to the news. And my mom is the same way, like she's like, oh, all the time negative energy. And last time I was on the phone with her and was like, tell me a nice thing that happened to you yesterday. And she was like, I don't know, I don't remember. And then like 2 minutes later, she was like, oh, I met this beautiful person, and we started chatting and laughing. And that completely changed her mood, like remembering that by like being more mindful of what happened the previous day, of something nice.
Dean and I were watching an interesting little program last night about meditation and sleep and stuff like that. And one of the things the person, the narrator said, go back to the very beginning of your day. Go back to the very beginning of your day. You got up, you took a shower, or you had breakfast, or then you did this, or what did you do? And I was like, I can't even remember what I'd done. And then I started to think, oh yeah, I did a whole bunch of things. And and she said, but the goal is to bring yourself to the present moment. So basically you remember your day from the beginning of waking up, and then you go step by step to the various, 20 different things you did, little moments, until you get to the present moment. And then you go, oh, here I am. I'm here now. And so I think that being here now and learning to be in the present moment is such an important thing that we all need a lot of practice in, because we're always in the past or worrying about the future. So I just encourage you to find whatever kind of it's like you're hacking life. You're just trying to figure out how to, you can do it. There's ways to do it, but it takes a moment. Yeah, go ahead, Kathy.
One thing with the back to that singing bowl thing, I actually found like an app on my phone that will give you an interval singing bowl, like a chime. And so I'll use that to begin and end my meditation time in the mornings, but it just keeps going and it's not very loud, and I'll just let it go. And so now and then during my teaching day or whenever, I'll hear it, and that will help bring back, like, especially like your the affirmations, I'll take a picture of it on my phone. So then at some point during the day when I hear that chime, I'll just open up my phone and reread it, because I have a tendency to forget. So it just helps, it helps keep it more to the forefront, and it gives me better days.
That's so great. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, listening to music and the peaceful music and that kind of thing. So I think we have to, I might have shared this in another session, but it was, I was going to actually, I don't know if you know who Larry Dossey is. He's an author and a doctor. He writes about prayer and healing. He's quite a interesting person. And I was doing a workshop where I was going to open for him. And I remember I taught the group to this little song. It was, turn off the radio and pray, turn off the television and pray, put down the newspaper and pray and pray and pray. And it was, praying being, just putting your mind in a higher place, because when we're looking for entertainment or just keeping us distracted on various forms of media that we use, often they want you to think about conflict and just get all upset about, this side or that side or who's fighting whom. And that's really not, I don't think, the purpose of our lives. So it's just a good technique to disconnect from the media in that way. It's okay to be involved and know a little bit what's going on, but you don't have to be so absorbed, because really you're paying attention to the news every day and going to change it in that level. There's other ways we can work. I'll just play a few little notes here, and I just thank you so much for coming. So just knowing that we have access to inner peace at all times, and that we can practice, and practice makes perfect. And there's no, ultimate goal, except that we just want to learn to be able to have control over our minds and our feelings and our emotions. So by practicing inner peace and practicing our breathing and finding our own affirmations and using them, and then reaching out and helping people in need, and also asking for help when we need help. So I think we're, thank you so much for joining my little Mindful Living Book Club. And we will meet again first Sunday of May and first Sunday of every month in 2022. So thank you so much. And be sure and invite your friends, because we got room here for a few more people, and lots of people are signed up but can't come every month. So, and it's just fine if you can't come every month, but thanks for sharing, and do join our Facebook group if you haven't already. And I try to let people in when I remember to click that thing. So, all right, well, namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
you.
we'll see you next time, and have a great day, a great week, a great month, and a great life. So, all right.